Hello everyone, welcome to the Code Goat. Today we are going to discuss about the part 2 of this FastAPI tutorial series. In the part 1 we have discussed about where to use FastAPI and we created a base setup. So if you didn't watch it till now, I will recommend just go and watch it. The link is in the description. And coming to the part 2, let's see what we are going to learn. So the first thing is when to use HTTP and WebSockets API in the FastAPI framework. So in the earlier part, we have discussed, okay, the FastAPI have support for both HTTP and WebSockets API. But for which project we are going to use which kind of API, we are going to discuss that. What is HTTP API? So this HTTP protocol provide multiple ways to create your APIs, and we are going to learn what APIs will be suitable for us. Into this, develop get API through FastAPI framework. So in this part, we will develop our get API into the FastAPI framework, and don't worry, you will master that get request. Coming to this adding path parameter in API call. So once when you have developed the get API, definitely you are going to need a path to run your request. So we are going to discuss the same in this topic. After that, we will learn about the best way to structure your project. So in this point, we are going to learn how to segmentize your project into different file, because putting everything into the one executable file is not a good practice. And in the end, we are going to test our API. Once we restructured our project, we will going to use the API to test. Okay, so let's move into the first point. Okay, where is the outrage? Okay, into the first point, we have to discuss when to use HTTP and when to use WebSocket. Okay, so first I'll create two sections, one for HTTP and one for WebSocket. So the application like chat or you can say video conferencing apps, we are going to use this WebSocket. And in the HTTP, like e-commerce, like company page, company website, or you can take many example like company website, or you can take e-commerce, or you can take something like any application in which you are not going to engage any other one. See, in the chat one, we need some other person to engage with us. In video conferencing, again, or video app calling, again, we need someone else to engage with us. But in e-commerce, company website, and what I can say, taking for the other example, you can go for, let's say, career pages. Career pages. There, what we need to do is we need to provide data and we need to get the confirmation. That's it. So this is the part where this HTTP and WebSocket comes in. So let's discuss like why we need WebSocket differently for these apps. So inside the HTTP, there is this section user. There is this section server. So user will create the request and server will provide the response. And that's it, end. So for each request, there will be a response, and this request response will consider as session, and for each request and response, the session will end. Coming to this WebSocket, let's say you are a user, this is a server, and this is user 2. What user 1 will do, it will go to the server. You can say, for take an example, WhatsApp, you will go and say hi to the server 2 to the user 2. So what this server will do, it will create a handshake between user 1 and user 2. Handshake means hold your hand. So this server will say, okay, user 1, user 2, you can do the handshake through me, and then you can start the conversation. So for the chatting app or for the video calling app, for these kind of apps, we need a dedicated session in which the request response are going bi-directional. It means user 1 can give instruction to user 2 and user 2 give instruction to user 1. I guess it is clear, like where we need to use this HTTP, for which application we need to use HTTP, and for which application we need to use WebSockets. Okay. Now coming to the second part, what is HTTP API? So okay, it's a good topic, HTTP API. I guess I should create another video for it. Okay, my handwriting is very bad. So this is HTTP. HTTP refers to Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It provides REST APIs, SOAP APIs, or you can say there are other APIs too. What was their name? GraphQL. GraphQL API, and there is one more kind of API which you can say, what was its name? RPC. So RPC. The REST API deal with JSON, SOAP API deal with XML, GraphQL uses query language. And this RPC API is the fastest, and it work on HTTP2. The JSON means the payload in the request response will be in the form of JSON. The request in the the payload in the request response will be in the form of XML. The payload in the form of request, it will be query language, and it will return back the JSON. Coming to the fastest API, this RPC API, these APIs use bytes, if I say, and currently we are not going to use it because this kind of API will be needed when you are going to do some action which is going to require your real-time input or real-time output. Okay. Coming to the next part, this this HTTP GET API. So this HTTP will provide us REST, and this REST provide us GET, POST, PUT, and DELETE. This get API is for get the data from the server. Save for the post, save the data into the server. So let's say you are a user and you come to a portal in which you want to know what are the let's say what are the tasks I did what are the tasks I did in the past week. So you will put the get request, and coming to the post, if you are going to create a new task for yourself, let's say today I'm going to create a new task for myself, so I will do the post request. So inside the post request I will fill the data and I will send it to the server will save it, and when again we are going to hit the get request, it will return the data which I posted earlier. Coming to the put part, it will update the saved data. So let's say if you have submitted something but some point or some information was not correct, so you will run the put request. Coming to the delete, it will delete the record. Okay, so we are clear. So inside the HTTP we have the REST will provide the get, and this is the get we are going to use into the development. Okay, so this part is clear. Okay, so now we are going to work on development part. So we are going to develop and get API, and don't worry, we are going to become master of it inside the FastAPI framework. So for the first thing, what we need to do is we need to set up our code editor so that it can support us while we are developing our API. Let's see where we are. We are at the dev environment. Okay, fine. Let's source our env script activate, as it is window. That's why I'm using this env script activate. Inside the Linux, you are going to do this env bin activate. Okay, so again, now we are going to use this FastAPI because we installed it in the first part. We will check whether it's working fine or not. So this FastAPI help is working. It means our FastAPI is present. On the second thing, what we're going to do is we are setting our code editor Python interpreter to this virtual environment. Sorry, I was liking something. Okay, so in the setting part, I'll go with the Python default interpreter. Fine. So what we need to do is we need to come to this dev environment. Yeah, inside this scripts, you will find this Python. Just copy the path from this general tab, from the security tab. Okay. Let's copy it. And what we are going to do, we are going to paste it here. Okay. So it is saved. It will work now. Okay, so we have this. Now let's start the development. Okay, so from FastAPI, yes, it is working. Import FastAPI. From again, there's one more new thing in the FastAPI. It is called Pydantic. This Pydantic is the core backbone of the FastAPI framework, and we are going to discuss it with in more length and with more functionality. But currently, right now, just try to understand this Pydantic. Uh, this Pydantic is really what I will say. This Pydantic we are going to use in a limited way right now, but in the later lectures, we are going to explore everything through the Pydantic. Okay, so this Pydantic import base model. And in the base model, uh, basically this base model provide you the model of your data. Model of your data means if you are going to deal with JSON in the request response, so that request or response which you are getting from the server, or the request which you are giving to the server, will have some kind of structure, some certain keys, and those keys we are going to define into the base model. Okay, so for now we will go forward from this, and from the typing also we need to uh, optional. What happened to optional? Optional. Am I writing it wrong? Oh, sorry, I didn't write the import. Okay, import optional. uh, I created a one more lecture for the type hints in the Python, and I guess you should uh, watch that video too. It's a bit lengthy, but that will change the way you are writing the code. Okay, the link of that video is also into the description. Uh, Please try to watch it, because that type hint is the way which we are going to use inside the complete fast API. Okay, so let's create a model. That model will define what the structure of data we are going to get from the API, because we are going to uh, developing the get API. Fine. Okay, not from. We are going to create a class. Let's create a class of item, and we are going to inherit the base model. Inside the base model, let's say you have in the item, there is a name of the item which is of string. See, this is the type hint which I'm writing here right now. This is a name is a variable is of type string. Okay. And there is this price. We are going with very small model. This price will be of I'll say integer. Okay, and there will be let's say sometime if you are working on some product, there is its name, there is its price, and sometime the company provides, or the organization which is hosting the website, they provide the off, or I'll say discount. So what I'll do is okay, let's go simple with the tax. Okay, but whatever the thing you are going to purchase, there will be some tax with it. So I'll take a field of tax, and this will be optional. This optional, and just for the sake, we will take this int, and it will be none. See, let me explain this a bit. This tax is of optional type, and if it is not available, then the value will be transferred as none. But if it is available, then the value will be transfer of int. So tax. Okay, let's take the correct type only. We will take the float. Okay, because tax will be in some point in some decimal dot 1 2 something. So, okay, so this is the structure of our uh, payload which we are going to get from the server. Now let's create the API. We are going to create the app.get. See, as I told, this app, you can do the get, you can do the post, you can do the put here only. This app is the decorator of your method. This decorator provide the functionality to either you are using that method as a get request, or a post, put, or delete. Okay, so we are going to use it as get, and currently we are not providing any path is the URL. Your server, the URL is the one thing the path where your server is running. After that, you are providing a path to tell the server, okay, so it is the path in which you, in the running server, if you go, you will find the data. Fine. Okay, so we have this app.get. App is not defined. Okay, it means we need to create one app too. App equals to this fast API. Okay, so we have created the app, and coming to this, let's create a method async def, and it will be read root. Let's say for read root. Okay, and we are going to return what we are going to return. We will return the message. Message. I hope the spelling is right. I don't want it to be massage. Okay. Hello. Code. Okay. So we have this. Let's try to run it once. Okay. Where we are right now, ls, and we have this main file in which we the part 2 of dev main. Okay. So what we will do, we will use the fast API command tool. This first API dev, sorry, main.py. Okay, we got this, and now let's check whether it's working fine or not. We have a running server at this local host. Let's copy it. Okay, so we got this hello code. Let's head back to our code editor, and okay, so we have created our API as earlier. Now if I go for the path, you can provide any path. Let's say if you want to run only with the message, let's say if okay, so it's a path. From this path you are going to get this API request, and if I create the second one, let's say it will have the name is code. Currently it should not return anything. Okay, details not found. And if I do this name code, and if I do this message hello code. Okay, so this is the first get API. It's a really easy one. Let's add something more to it. Okay, let's edit the same one only, and it will, what we are going to use is our base model. We are creating API for our base model, so it will be items, get items. Okay, let's create get items. Get items, and in the path, let's say items, and this item ID, item name, let's say item name. Okay, and so this is the get item name, and what we are getting here is item. I will explain every section. Item name, that is of str, and let's say there is one optional parameter, that is also, that is a float, none. And what we are going to check is item name. It will be this item name, and q will be q. Item name we are providing here, it's an optional for list. Okay, let's do this str only. It is not for the tags, so don't get confused. Okay, so let's first do it without this, then we will add it. So we have this items and this item name, so we will copy it and let's see, our server is running. Yes, our server is running. Keyboard interrupted. Okay, let's see. Here only we'll go with the message item name. Item name, let's say I have this laptop. Laptop is my item name. Okay, it is because of double slash. I'll use this item laptop. See, we have I'll increase the screen size. Okay, so you can see we are getting the item name as laptop. So the data which we have provided into the path, it is taken by the method of the get request, and again it is modified as response. Okay, coming back to our code, let's introduce the other character, this q. I'll tell you what this q is. None, or I will say the simple, either it's str or none. Again, from this q, q should be q. Q should be q. Okay. Again, let's try to run it again once, see whether it's working fine or not. Okay, type missing, local query queue, message field required input null. We have this query parameter q, this item. The str none equals to none. Okay, sorry, I guess it should work now if I execute it. Let's execute it into the private mode. Okay, yes, it's working. So what I did here is we can provide the query parameters too into our get request. What are the query parameters? Query parameters are something when if you see sometimes you have this URL, means after this URL you have this question mark, and after this question mark you have some values in it. So if I say it is q, and q have a value of let's say it's a name. So if I do this, see, you will get the value. So it provide you the functionality to take the query parameters too, because the get request, sometimes the get request is it's for specific data, and for the specific data, if okay, let's say if I'm running the get request for the laptop, but what I need is I need laptop of the HP. So I will provide HP here. Let's make it more clear. Okay, it's item name. Let's other than q, let's make it company. Okay, it will be more company, and this company will go here, and we have this company. This company we have. I'll explain this part too. Just let's see what we will have here. Okay, in place of this, let's provide company goes to HP. So what happened is we are creating a get request. We have the path, but inside of that path there are multiple options, and out of those options you have to select one. When you're clicking on that one particular item, you are getting details of that item. So what I did is it provide the query. Okay, so what I need is it is my website. Inside the website I have this item section. Inside the item section I have this laptop section. Inside the laptop there are multiple companies, and I'm querying about the HP products. So once when the user click on the HP, it will create a query parameter, and inside the query parameter it will add it to the URL. After adding it to the URL, that part will be done in the UI. Once that part is added, so it will call the action, and that action will come to this. Okay, I have this item name, and also I have this company too. Inside this company, let's say you have some XYZ action, and that action is providing into the return statement. It is just a normal basic example. That's why I'm just using it into the 2 or 3 lines. Coming to this part, it, as we know, this company is a query parameter, and inside the query parameter we have provided either it will be a type of str or none. So it means it can contain str or none, but it cannot be integer. Okay, so this company variable will take only 2 type of parameters. These parameter will be either of a string or none. If nothing is provided into the query parameter, it will be valued as none. So inside of that none, again you will write some action for none, and you will modify your return statement as per that. So it's this much simple. So we have created one get API. Inside of that get API, we retrieve data from the server, and from that server we provide the query to, because we provided the query. Okay, so let's use this model which we have created earlier. Okay, so okay, this is very good. Again, we will use this app dot get. Inside the get we will have this items. Again, async def, let's call this like all items. Now what we want is this. Okay, so inside this what I'll say, all items, skip 0, skip int, which will be default as 0. It is a default value, right? So it will also be considered as default value. Here we take a one variable skip as a starting parameter, which will be of integer type, and it have a default value of skip. And we have this limit, sorry, we have this limit, this is also be of int type. And again, let's say we have this 10 records. Let's say you have the 10 records in your database and you are going to fetch at a one time. So once you are loading your page, you only want to show the 10. You can make it parameterized too, like we did it in this query part, but currently we are taking the default value. That's why I'm saying you should watch the type hint videos. The type hint is going to be used in each of the method of your FastAPI server. Okay, so we have this. Now let's say we will create one dummy data, because we don't have any kind of server connected to it, database server. And let's say you have this name of this name is lab1, and what's the second thing is price. This price is of int, so we will provide the, let's say it's of 100, and we're not going to provide tags for it. We will provide tags for the second record. So we will copy it, price lab2, it is lab2 product name, it have a value of 200, and its tax is of float, so we will provide the value of, let's say, 10.10. Okay, again we will create one more record, lab3. More the record, more accurate we will get the answer, and this time we are not going to again provide the tax lab. This product name will be lab3. So inside this dummy data we got it, and we are going to return it through our model. So this will be dummy data. We are going to use this skip and limit. So it will be skip to skip plus int, sorry, limit. Skip plus limit. What I am doing here is slicing. I am doing the list slicing. So let's run the code with the items. As we already saved it and our server is running, so it should work. Okay, do we are we okay, items with this. Okay, fine. Not found. Why so not found? Okay, yeah, see, the data we have provided is here. Okay, let's change the limit. Let's say limit is of skip one. We will do the skip one part. Okay, let's see now how it will come. See, it provided only 2 records with the name, price, tax, and the name, price. It skipped the first one because it's the slicing part started from the one to the remaining thing. Okay, so now we understood. Okay, we have used this dummy data. We are going to okay, so now we will going to use a base model which we declared in the starting, that how we can use it in our response. So what I'll do is I'll take this dummy data, I'll just use it like this only. This dummy data equals to dummy data this, and inside of this I'll call your base model. This base model will contains the format of your dummy data. Dictionary unpack operator is subject in subscript is not allowed. Okay, oh sorry, I should use these brackets. See, this editor is good. Okay, so what I did here is, okay, we have provided the query parameter to our existing database, and after, when I filtered the data, what I'm doing is I'm using this item model, this base model, where we provided the structure. So it should work with the with tags and without tags, because it all comes under the same structure. Okay, so let's try it. Where is my server? Where is my server? Here it is. Okay, so first let's see what it will give with the items only. Internal server error. Why so? Is it because of this? Okay, let's take it to the here. Internal server error. Let's check the logs. Why it is? Main item argument after must be mapping not list. Must be mapping not list. Where I did the wrong, where I did the wrong. Mm, mm. Okay, I'm sending the list and it is expecting the dictionary. Okay, it's my fault. Then what I'll do is mm, dummy data. Okay, let's change this dummy data section here, and what we will do is we will remove this list. We will remove the extra records. We will remove it here and there. We will remove this section too. And after removing this, what we are going to do is we will provide the item name and something like this in here. Okay, let's make it this one only. This item, we have the item name, and let's change it to the data dict. We have this, we have the key value name. Name will be used as item name. We have the price. Let's say price will be what I'll say 100. That's an int. Okay, and tax, we are not going to use tax. That's an optional field. So what we are going to do is return the item class, okay, with the same data dict. Okay, now let's check whether it will work or not. Item name, price 100. Items, there is nothing there. We need to add something. Let's say laptop. Okay, so the tax is null, price is 100, and the name of the laptop is laptop. Okay, it's good, it's working. So let's try to just run one more field here, which is not available into the items model. So we are going to add a field of offer, and that offer we are taking as 20. Just we are going to try, and let's see what will happen. Okay, let me just use it into the private window. This laptop tax null. So anyhow, it is not returning the data which is not the part of your base model. Okay, so you get it. It will not allow those data to the response which you have not allowed into your model, and it will follow the same thing as I didn't provide the tax here, but in the response I'm getting the tax as null. So you can do the calculation on the JavaScript when you have the UI, and you can show the price on the runtime. Okay, so for the get request, I guess that's it. And as we are running too long for this video, the part of restructuring the code, we will handle it into the third part. So keep watching, and please let me know if there is any kind of suggestion, uh, any kind of improvement. I will definitely do that. If you want a shorter length inside for the video, I'll try to cover everything like in a shorter way. So thanks for watching, and please share and subscribe. Thank you.